Good morning, everyone. Welcome, Team Dodo. I'm happy to tell about our cooperation, about us. Overall, when they invited me, I was sure that I will be talking specifically about interaction of two companies, what we're doing for Dodo, what have we done for Dodo, but the team that is making this broadcast stream, TV show, you name it, they told me that the franchisees are watching, the entrepreneurs are watching, they're active, they're excited, they're interested, and they will be very curious about the history of the company, about the cases with good ending, with a happy end. That's why I will be first telling about our company and then share a few points which are interesting regarding our cooperation with Dodo. Our company was founded 31 years ago. It scares me even to say this. But today, this is a group of companies. We have over 900 employees, and most of them are outstanding specialists. Of course, our main asset are people, just as for most companies today. We are present in 6 countries. In addition to Russia, we work in Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Mongolia, and USA. We have about 20 branches in Russia. Those are offices with warehouses, so we are covering most of the economically active territory of Russia. We have been working with major key accounts in Russia. Either we have been working or working at the moment with these key accounts. We are mostly specialized in QSR, largest QSR networks, including Burger King, Dodo, KFC. We're not working with McDonald's though. We're working with all major Russian retailers and major food and beverage chains, restaurant chains. We were doing 30% of main objects for Olympic Games in Sochi and for FIFA World Cup in Russia. We design and equip food and beverage venues of all kinds of formats, starting from shawarma next corner to the major food production facilities and kitchens. Mostly we talk about restaurants, cafes, pizza restaurants as well. Those are our specialty. Of course, we provide supplies, kitchenware, all kinds of services. A few words about the structure of our company. As I have said earlier, we have branches in Russia and outside of Russia. Also, there's the service part of the company that consists of 2 parts. First, service center in Moscow, which is a big one, and service aggregator called Naladil, meaning literally fixed it. We have been working with this aggregator for a long time, and they connect us with another 200 subcontractors all around Russia. So we provide services almost everywhere in Russia, in all more or less major towns and cities, thanks to this service. Also, we have 4 major factories. Interia factory, making furniture for Dodo as well. Another factory called TTM, they produce the brand called RoboMetrics. They produce equipment and hardware also for Dodo. I will talk about that in more detail later. Another company, another factory of ours is Sikom, a distinguished St. Petersburg company. They are known with their pancakes and grills. And also fun food company making packages and popcorn mixes. Popcorn is a big part of our business. I mean, we provide supplies for popcorn to cinemas in Russia. But it all began in 1990. And the first, more or less, significant business of ours was particularly popcorn. I went to the USA in 1991 and got acquainted there with the major popcorn producer back then, in a day. They still are, by the way. The Gold Medal Company, and I also met with Star Company, who delivered their technology to Russia. Back then, of course, it was significantly easier than today. We just bought 30 seconds of primetime advertising on Channel 1 back then with a commercial, "You can become a millionaire in a month with a Star popcorn machine." And we had a lot of people lining up for the machine. We had 40 feet containers entering the center of Moscow near to Arbat. They were just dropping me dollars into the container. I was dropping the machines back. And starting with 1997, it all became serious. There was the first real contemporary modern cinema opening in Moscow. Back then it was called Kodak Kinomir. And after that, there were more and more modern cinemas in Moscow. And we've been working with about 60 or 70% of them in Moscow. In addition to popcorn, we've been doing so many different things. I treat business majorly as the opportunity to do something new. That's what's pushing my buttons. Our first competitor, even before popcorn, was the company Comus, which makes stationery supplies. They were growing, but I got bored with the product category. Blanks, forms, paper. So we delivered KitchenAid mixers, vinyl siding, tiling, even soft tiling. I mean, we were selling all kinds of products and then selling those businesses to partners. So, 16 years ago, I was truly excited with the factory called TTM. We actually built it completely in the greenfield. We just put the equipment and began working. I actually graduated university as an engineer, and I think my calling is to be an inventor. So this factory gave me the opportunity to create something entirely new. And I got completely immersed into the workings of this thing. We have been making all kinds of things there, including even cotton candy. And still do. Now we produce a wide range of equipment for chains, such as Burger King. We make literally everything for them, as long as the Americans allow us to enter their business. We're making these stoves and ovens for Dodo and many other things. Another special thing is popcorn for us. It has always been. As an engineer, I took a look at the machines for mixing, and they've been like this for 100 years. And I did realize that this is not the best thing ever, so we invented this machine called RoboPop. This is the first prototype made out of sticks and rocks, but of course, this is just the first minimal, livable product. Then, of course, it got so much better, we patented the device. So the idea of the machine is that the popcorn explodes in the hot air without any consumption of oil. Therefore, there are no conservants or trans fats. Popcorn is more healthy and it contains less calories. And this machine requires twice less resources because half of the resources are oil, half of the costs are oil. That's why this machine is super efficient. We got patents in Russia, US, Europe, and we provide it all around the world. We're especially proud of it. Another reason to be proud, our partner, Gold Medal. As I have mentioned, we have been their partner for about 20 years or so, 30 years, and now they are our dealer. They're selling our device in the US. A reason to be proud. Also, using the developed technology, we created additional production lines, big production lines, to produce popcorn on a large scale. And we provide this assembly lines all around the world. We have even delivered this production line to Switzerland. Recently, we completed installation in Romania, in Transylvania, where, as they say, Dracula lives. And we're going to build this assembly line in the US. A very competitive birthhouse of popcorn. Also, we've invented this special caramelizer machine for popcorn, also one of a kind, and this cotton candy machine. You would think, what can be invented there? Nevertheless, we have installed a turbine which puts the stream of candy up, which allows us to make tricks. And making of cotton candy is a show. It's not that you sell this sweet thing. No, you sell this process of making it. And with this machine, it is possible to make really big portions, making a true spectacle out of it. So we sell these devices all around the world. Our major market outside of Russia is the US. We even have a major warehouse in Jacksonville, Florida. I've never been there yet, and I'm going there in 2 weeks, flying to the US actually tomorrow. Now, let me talk about how we work with Dodo, about what we do for Dodo. Fyodor sent me this contract. This is our first contract dating January 2012. So this is the first contract for us to supply equipment for Dodo. We were the first ones and we're proud of it. Let me tell you about the couple of things. We've been doing many things for Dodo. We install equipment, hardware, etc. One of the things that, in my opinion, are significant. Donor 42 opened last December or November, if I'm not mistaken. The leader of the project, Magomed, approached me. Of course, we've known one another, because he was making a restaurant as well. We presented together at the conference, etc. He requested for me to make a grill, because there has never been a particularly appropriate grill for a donor place. Let me reiterate, the concept of a donor technology is not the standard barrel of meat that you often see. They're cutting the meat of that barrel. Of course, that sort of barrel does not correspond to any sanitary requirements and norms because the conditions for bacteria there are just so good. So, that's why Donor 42 needed a special kind of grill. So they put the pita bread on the grill, it gets heated while the shawarma is being made. So we have this crunchy surface, then you put meat into it, you wrap it up. It looks quite high-tech. There were no ready-made solution in the market, so we developed this grill. The problem was to distribute heat gradually. You see this infrared spectrum. The induction grill on the left, which we considered as a solution, you see how the heat is being distributed not gradually. And here's the heat map of our grill. The heat is being distributed throughout the entire surface. We actually use the bi-metal surface that we use for our popcorn machine. So this one heats gradually. So we built this new grill, we installed it, launched the donor. The sales grow, and all of a sudden we realized that this technology is just not enough, that we need a much bigger grill. So this is Fyodor telling about the technology at your 10th anniversary celebration. And here it is, the newly made new grill. First of all, it got much bigger. Next, it's the conveyor. You put the pita bread on the left, and on top you may see the section for hot meat, sauces, cold section, vegetables, and cold toppings. And shawarma is traveling from left to the right. The surface becomes crunchy and ready for the wrap-up and handout. Let's see how this will work. Another interesting thing that we've been doing, all kinds of ovens. This is our challenge accepted. This is what drives us and clicks our buttons. We have developed the 3 of them already, using American ovens as prototypes. These things do work. We had some problems with quality control. Initially, there were problems with conveyors. Now, we've sold a few dozens of these ones, and the major problems, we're not hiding it, is relatively big energy consumption. They consume normally 10% more than the competition. One of our major franchisees with Dodo was telling in epic language about the infernal energy consumption of these ovens. I mean, it's not infernal, it's about 10% more. We've checked it many times using the IQ energy system. We were swapping our oven with the competition oven in different restaurants. According to the measurements, we see 9 point something% more of energy consumption. But the settings are important. So if you get more than 9% of energy consumption gap, just get in touch with me, we'll send you the settings, or we'll give you your money back, as they say. But even with this extended energy consumption, our ovens are still better in terms of overall costs. We can send you this calculator, costs calculator, if you want. Or maybe Dodo will add it to the knowledge base. So on top we have the price of the oven, and it's twice as cheap as the competition. Also, you can take into account your kilowatt per hour costs, of course, but the idea is that cooking costs consist of three parts: cost of the oven, cost of the energy, and total cost of ownership. I mean, you probably take a loan to buy the oven, 10% interest rate from a bank, and in 5 years, for example, here are your total cost of ownership. You can see that at the bottom here, it's much better for our oven compared to competitor from America. So the oven for us is a challenge, always. And I believe that this is the challenge that we can truly face. It's not like the competition between Elon Musk and a Russian space agency. I mean, they couldn't make it, but we could beat Americans with popcorn. We can make it here. We have a major team working at the moment and polishing up this particular model, and I'd like to express all sorts of respect to Fyodor and the team because they truly engaged us into this story. They have ignited our creativity. Yes, we're working for Dodo for free, but we do hope that they will be selling hundreds of these ovens eventually. We've been working for almost a year now, for free. And it's like in aviation, they're fighting to slice off every single gram from the plane or from a space shuttle. So here we're struggling to slice every single degree. We're now figuring out the placement of tubular heating element, gaining 1% of temperature distribution after the other. Here's the measurement of heat streams within the oven. All of these ovens are impingement ovens, meaning that the streams of air from lots and lots of tiny holes are hitting the product, which is pizza. That's why the heat exchange is very fast, and that's why we can cook the pizza very quickly. So, the streams must be fast, but not knocking off cheese from the surface of pizza, providing the fastest heat exchange. Another new thing in this particular oven, and I truly hope that we will release it by fall, this is this new RoboMetrics system. This is the global trend to install the Wi-Fi GSM device within the oven that will send all of the data on the workings of the oven into the cloud, so that it is possible to monitor the operations of the oven in detail via sensors. Another advantage of this approach is that it's possible to distribute new recipes throughout the entire chain. Another advantage is that it is possible to avoid complaints and assure quality control, because it's possible to now remotely send settings to the oven, or just check at least the settings of the oven. So here's the example of dashboards with data from the oven. Yes, another important property of this particular RoboMetrics technology. It's possible to get in touch with our service engineer, and the engineer will use the current stats to remotely resolve some issues with the oven. About 20% of the issues, as far as we observe, can be resolved remotely just with this sort of data. Therefore, I will conclude. I know I went beyond of the time that was given me today. I just want to highlight that we're happy to work with Dodo. I know many people who work in food and beverage. They are outstanding, great in every single way. They do not believe in Dodo eventually, but I try to change their mind every single day. That's why, wishing all the best to you. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to write.